What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we are talking about The Strangers Chapter 1.
Is Tamara here?
No.
I think you have the wrong home.
And just a heads up guys, this is going to be a non-spoiler review with the movie just hitting theaters this week. Want to make sure you guys go into this thing as fresh as possible. And if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Give this video a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's talk about The Strangers. After their car breaks down in an eerie small town, a young couple is forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensues as they are terrorized by three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive. In The Strangers Chapter 1, and I believe Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 as well, is directed by Renny Harlin. You guys might be familiar with him with different projects like Deep Blue Sea, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, amongst many other projects. And the film stars Madelaine Petsch and Froy Gutierrez. The Strangers came out in 2008, and it was one of those rare horror movies to actually kind of creep me out a bit because, one, it was something that could actually really happen and was inspired by some real life events. And then two, just the randomness of it, as Dollface says in the film, because you were home. There's no rhyme or reason behind their attack on this couple. So when it was announced that they were going to be doing not only a new Strangers film, but also a trilogy of films for this franchise, I was definitely curious on how they were going to handle this whole thing. So with The Strangers Chapter 1, you have Maya played by Madelaine Petsch and then Ryan played by Froy Gutierrez. They're a couple who are celebrating their anniversary when their car breaks down and then they're forced to stay in this creepy town at this cabin. And as the night goes on, the couple is visited by three masked strangers and then brutally attacked by them for no rhyme or reason at all. And so The Strangers Chapter 1 is a soft reboot of not only the franchise, but the first film specifically, which I honestly think was probably the smartest thing to do, especially if your plan was to go ahead and make a trilogy out of this films to kind of have a starting point to go from. And one of the changes that they made here to this film that I really appreciated is that I think the main characters here are a lot more likable than they are in the original film. In the original film, you have the guy, he ends up proposing to his girlfriend, she turns him down, and then things are kind of awkward from there. I just thought that the way that they handled it here, that, they're happy to start off, they're celebrating their anniversary, and so when shit kind of starts hitting the fan, for me at least, I felt more of a connection to these characters and was worried about what was going to happen to them once the strangers attacked. And I thought Renny Harlin did a really good job of creating tension of once Maya and Ryan, they end up arriving to this town, they go into the diner, you can just tell something is off with the people that live here, the town itself, and then of course that carries over into once the night hits, and then the strangers, they start stalking them one by one. I just thought he did a really good job of creating that tension from early on in the film and then was able to carry it on throughout the rest of the movie.
Why are you doing this to us? Because you're here.
And as far as the look of the strangers go, they're slightly modified from what they look like in the original film as far as like outfits and stuff like that goes, but they're still just as creepy as shit as they were in that original movie. And I can only just imagine, like, being nighttime and you seeing someone either coming around a corner or you just see someone in the dark wearing one of these masks. Yeah. Fuck that, I'm out of there. My personal opinion for you guys, though, is that I would go into this film as blind as possible, just knowing little as possible, because I was lucky enough that I was able to watch my screener, and then I ended up finding out some things about kind of what the plans might be for the trilogy going forward. I'm glad I found those out after I had watched this first film, because I think that would have probably affected my viewing experience a little bit. It might have lessened the tension a little bit. So I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up to maybe kind of stay away from, certain interviews and stuff like that out there, because I don't want it to ruin your experience. And I feel like for the most part, I just try to go into films. Like I usually watch like the first trailer. Unfortunately, sometimes they still ruin it there, but I try to just watch the one trailer, or if it's a project I'm already excited for, and maybe not even watch a trailer at all and just go into it, because I think that's always just kind of leads to the best experience, overall. And as far as the characters go, again, played by Madelaine Petsch and then Froy Gutierrez, Maya and Ryan, as I mentioned previously, I thought that they were much more likable in this film than they were in the original movie, and I just thought their chemistry as a couple was really good as well, too. So they both gave good performances in the film overall. Now, this isn't going to be the scariest horror movie of the year, I think, overall, but it definitely has its moments, and it made this horror fan happy because I was curious where they were going to go with this, especially doing a trilogy of films. So I think if you're a fan of this franchise, I think that you'll like The Strangers Chapter 1, and I'm excited to see where they're going to take this trilogy with Chapters 2 and Chapters 3. Oh, and just as a heads up, guys, too, make sure that you guys stay for the mid-credits because there is a little bit of a scene there, so make sure that you stay for that. And yeah, I mean, as far as the score goes, I really enjoyed this film. It's been a minute since I've watched the original movie, so I gotta go back and watch that as well. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy The First Strangers and this. Actually, I do have to go back and watch Pray at Night too, because I remember seeing that in theaters. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I have heard a number of different people that actually really enjoy it, so maybe I gotta give it a second chance. But yeah, once you guys get a chance to watch this movie, I'm definitely curious, what your guys' thoughts are. Let me know down below in the comments. As far as the score goes for me, it's going to be an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Definitely something that I'm going to be picking up when it comes out. And like I said, I can't wait for the next chapters in this trilogy. So yeah, once you get a chance to see it, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. And who is your favorite stranger out of the three strangers here? Who's the stranger that scares you the most, maybe? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Give this video a thumbs up. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.